Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It is Friday, October 10th, a little after 7:30 at night, and this is our daily recap video for our YieldMax weekly paying funds, ULTY, the Ultra Option Income Strategy Fund, SLTY, the Ultra Short Option Income Strategy Fund, and LFGY, the Crypto Industry Option Income Fund. Follow me on X if you don't already at ETF_Inspector1. I'll let you know when videos are premiering so you can join the live chat, and I repost all things related to the ETFs that I cover and then even ones that I don't cover. All right, it was an real ugly day in the market today. Didn't start out that way. Started out green, looking good, and then everything fell apart. So ULTY down 2.75% overall on the day, and as you can see, at one point they were up a couple cents. Everybody's chart looks the same. Starts off decent and just tails off. We got LFGY, same thing. Started off nice, ended up down over 4%. That hurts a whole lot. And then in a down day, SLTY finally gets to shine. SLTY was up 2.76% on the day. We'll take a look at the individuals with our spreadsheets. We'll start with ULTY. Excuse me. ULTY in the trades. All right, so they bought some more shares of Pony AI and Quantum Computing, 2103 and 2018. Let's see if those were, if they bought them early in the day. So they paid about 70-80 cents too much on them, and similar, around $1 too much on those. But nobody's got a crystal ball. From there, we get into the options trades. Now, if you watch the Monday through Thursday videos, we color these orange if it's a complete close and roll, and then we color it on this page as well, so we know we don't have to talk about it. But on Fridays, we don't talk about any of the options positions in or out of the money because today is the last day of the week, so everything got closed and rolled, and so if something is still in play, it's for next week, and we will catch that on the week look-ahead video made for Sunday morning. All right, so we're just going to talk about how much money was made or lost on the roll for each of the underlyings. Affirm is first. It brought in $787,000 credit. Bullish brought in a $1.8 million credit on their roll. Bitmine Immersion brought in $1.2 million. Centene Corp actually cost $1.9 million. That's a put spread. It's not our standard collar strategy. Coinbase cost $525,000 to close out, and so we're going to see this theme going a lot. Unfortunately, generally on Fridays they're closing and rolling pretty early in the day. So as you see, they had to pay $12.61 to close out these Coin 380s. Coin closed at $3.57. They would have been worthless later in the day. So they obviously closed them at an early time while the 380s were still in the money. So that's pretty unfortunate. Now there's a silver lining. All the puts that they purchased will now be, right, like these 365 puts are already $8 in the money before we even start. And all of our calls that are sold are way out of the money. So they're easy wins most likely, and we'll probably close them on Monday and adjust them closer for a large profit. CoreWeave cost over $5 million to close and roll. Again, 139s cost $12.65. They ended at 138. So instead of being 12 something, they would have been a penny at the end of the day, obviously. Hims and Hers brought in $2.6 million on the close and roll. Robinhood cost $776,000. 148s cost $478, and they closed $10 below that, $9 below it. So unfortunate. MP Material Corp, they cost $15 million to close and roll. They're one of the only ones that didn't get the memo on the day. As you can see, they actually went up, not down in this ugly day. Open Door brought in a credit of $1.2 million rolling to next week. Palantir brought in just under $2 million credit. Pony AI had a credit of $3.5 million on the roll to next week. Quantum Computing brought in $390,000. Rigetti cost $7.5 million rolling to next week. Closing out those 43s cost $3 to $4. And then Rigetti still closed over 43 by 92 cents. So we still would have been paying, just not that much. New Scale Power had a credit of $790,000. SoundHound brought in $1.8 million, and Symbotic cost $3.7 million. 64s were 2 to 4 plus, and they actually closed below 64. So unfortunate, obviously, but I mean, you gotta roll with the punches. So all in all, it was actually a negative generally on a day where the market dropped so much that our underlyings dropped 158 million. We would have all wins on the trades, but it was just the timing. The trades got performed early in the day, and then the drop came late. So we kind of got the worst of both worlds. So as you can see, huge loss on the value side of things. That's not a realized $158 million loss. All right, as we go through, like I said, we're not concerned. Anything expiring on the 10th is now rolled, and if it's already been rolled, we don't care either. So just kind of running through real quick on how the underlyings did. Affirm was down over 8%, and each one you see how much it affected the market value of the fund next to it. Bullish was down 9.4%, close to 10 million. Bitmine Immersion was the big loser, almost 11% down, cost over 12 million in value. Coinbase was down 7.75. There's another 13 plus million. CoreWeave down 3.25%. Figma was down over 10%. Hims and Hers down 7.36%. There's another 11.8 million almost. Robinhood down 8.8 plus, over $16 million drop. Lucid Group down 3.27%. MP Materials Corp did not get the memo that everybody was supposed to be dropping today. They went up 8.5% and ended with their calls in the money. That's a funny one. Strategy was down 4.8%. Open Door down an even 7%. Palantir was down 5.4%. Pony AI down 8.7%. Quantum Computing down 10.8%. Rigetti was down 6.7%. That's over 11.5 million. Rocket Lab down 3.25%. Rocket Companies, here's another one. They bucked the system, went up 0.8%. New Scale Power was down 3.3%. SoundHound down over 6.5%. Symbotic down almost 5%, and Upstart back in the 40s, 7.24. Wasn't Upstart recently close to 70 before it started dropping? Yeah, they're free falling. So that's how you had a decrease of 158 million. At the start of the day, we were at $3.4 billion in assets under management. Yesterday, people bought into the fund big time, increasing the outstanding shares by 6.2 million. The NAV at the start of the day, 547. We were up to like 550, 551, 52 before dropping down to the low 530s. Today was payday, so we got our 9 plus cents per share. It's going to be tough to think we might be seeing a less than 9 cent dividend next week based on that big drop. That's it for ULTY. Next we'll go to LFGY. No shares exchanged, just closing and rolling options. So Bitmine brought in $104,000 on the roll. BitDeer had a credit of $213,000. CleanSpark $256,000 close and roll. Core Scientific brought in $228,000. Circle Internet Group had a credit of $121,000. Galaxy Digital, a $207,000 credit. Robinhood, $226,000 credit. Hut 8 Corp, here's the first one that cost us money to roll. Over $1 million cost there. I'm curious, closing those 45s cost $5. And they ended at 43.57, so it would have been worthless. That's a bummer. Mara brought in a credit of $217,000. Mercado Libre had a credit of $85,000. New Scale Power's credit was $145,000. Nvidia cost $60,000. Let's see. 190s cost $528. And they ended at $183.05. Would have been worthless. Riot had a $297,000 credit, and XYZ had a $95,000 credit. So all in all, it worked out well for LFGY on the trading. They brought in a $1.1 million of credit. As far as that's concerned, they did get obviously beat up on their share values, down $13 million. Again, not realized. That's just the change in market value. Bitmine was down almost 11%. BitDeer was the big loser, down 13.3%, over $1 million in that one alone. So we're talking different kind of numbers now because we went from a $3.4 billion fund to a $200 million fund. CleanSpark down over 4%. Coinbase down 7.75. There's another more than $1 million decrease. Core Scientific was the big winner, up 2.6%. Circle Internet Group down 11.6%. Excuse me, sorry. iShares Ethereum Trust ETF was down almost 8%. Galaxy Digital down 6.7%. GameStop down 3.2%. Robinhood down 8.8%. Hut 8 Corp down over 6%. There's another million and another 1.4 million on Hood. iBit was down 3.7%, almost 700,000. Mara down 7.75. That's another $1 million drop. Mercado Libre down 6.2. Strategy down 4.8. NU Holdings down 2.9. All the rest are down. Nvidia almost 5%. Opera 4.7%. PayPal 7.8%. Riot Platforms down 5.7%, getting close to 1,800,000. And Block down 7.6%. So that's where we got our $13+ million decrease. Like we said at the start of the day, assets under management was $216 million. No changes in shares from the day before, 5,675,000. NAV at the start of the day was 38.10. We were looking like we were going to line up for another nice distribution going into the weekend, and then that happened. So we gave back a lot of what we've been making up over the last few weeks. Today was payday, so we got 51.02 cents per share. That was a nice distribution. Mine's on drip, so it just bought more. Hopefully I get the cheap price, not the high price. All right, and last but not least, SLTY, and they finally get their their day to shine. No shares changed, but we did have options getting closed and rolled first off. So they do a reverse collar strategy. So it's basically the opposite of what ULTY does. Bloom Energy brought in $14,000 on their roll. BitDeer brought in $172,000 on their closing roll. Let's see. And so that's because the selling of their protective call had all that value. Enphase Energy cost $16,000. GitLab cost $8,000. Lemonade cost $12,000. Nebius Group had a credit of $26,000, and Tesla cost $7,900. So all in all, they actually made a profit on their options trading, and they profited throughout the week, and they actually increased in the overall value, which is also going to be an overall increase on the week. So they had a good week. Doesn't feel good because all of our portfolios dropped, but they did well, increasing by $1 million, which is pretty big when you're only a $17 million fund. When we look at their underlyings, Astera Lab was down 8.5%. Advanced Micro Devices, they just added them yesterday, so it was good to short them yesterday, and then they dropped 7.7% today. Same thing with AST Space Mobile. They shorted them yesterday. They dropped 5.5% today. Bloom Energy was the big winner, up 0.25%. And Bitdeer was the biggest loser, down 13.3%. But as you can see, if you shorted things and they drop, it helps. That increased the value by $223,000. Circle Internet Group was down 11.6%. Duolingo down 3.6%. Enphase Energy down 6.6%. GitLab was down 4.8%. Iron, still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, down 6.3%. Kratos Defense and Security down almost 4%. Lemonade was down over 10%. Nebius Group was down 2.3%. RH was down almost 6.5%, and Tesla was down over 5%. So that's how you had that $1 million increase in value because of everything dropping. Like we said, $17.5 million assets under management at the start of the day. People bought into the fund yesterday. 50,000 new shares, bringing our outstanding shares up to 450,000. NAV at the start of the day just under 39, closing a little over 40. And again, today was payday, so if you have these guys, you got 60.87 cents per share deposited in your account. All right, that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching. Sorry we had to live through such a rough day, but we've had bad days before. Big picture, if you got a long-term mentality, it's just everything's on sale. So got a dad joke for you. So before I do, thank you for watching. Appreciate all the likes, shares, comments, all the feedback. Like chatting with you guys in the videos and all. So all right, dad joke of the day. I just got a promotion at the farm. I'm the new CIEIO. I don't know, that's a dumb one, but that made me laugh. All right, keep an eye out. I got my personal account update that I release on Saturdays, and then Sundays we do the week look aheads for the ULTY, SLTY, LFGY. Maybe I'll even take a look at blocks. I'm working on updating the spreadsheet. If you watched my blocks video, this is the original, and now I'm working on the updated version where I just downloaded all the new information. So maybe I'll do something with that this weekend as well. But I am away for a soccer tournament for my daughter, or a travel team. So maybe not. Either way, have a good weekend. I'll catch you in the next video.